Friends, you did a great job reading this story, Over and Under the Pond. We just read this story and now we're going to write about it in our journals. In this story, we talked about all the kinds of animals that live over the pond and the different animals that live under the pond. And even some animals that can live in both places, on land and in the water. So let's see, over the pond are bugs and birds and a moose and raccoons. Under the pond are fish and beavers and otters, frogs and turtles. Frogs and turtles are some of those animals that can live both on the land and under the water, those amphibious animals that we talked about. So many animals that live over the pond and under the pond. So I have a question for you. Would you want to live over the pond or would you want to live under the pond? Over or under? Let's take 5 seconds to think about it. Ooh, friends, while you were thinking, I was thinking. I think I would like to live under the pond and I could swim with all my fishy friends. Where would you like to live? Thank you for sharing. Okay, so we should all know if we want to live over the pond or under the pond, and whatever you want, whatever you picked, we're going to write about it in our journals. I have my journal right here, and the prompt says, would you live over or under the pond? So we're going to write in our journals about living over the pond or under the pond. And whenever I write in my journal, of course, I have to write my name and draw my picture and label. So the first thing that I'm going to do is write my name. I have my name right here at the top. I'm going to trace it. When I trace it, that helps me learn how to form the letters neatly. And then, when I'm done with my name, I can come down to my self-check rubric and give a name a check because I'm all done. And let's see, what do I have to do next? Picture. I have to draw my picture. Okay, I'm going to use different colors when I draw my picture. I'm going to use shapes and lines, so I'm not just doing scribble scrabble. I always want to try my best. Let's see, I chose under the pond, so I will draw a picture of under the pond. So first, I think I'll do some water up here to show that that's the pond. And then, will I draw up here above the pond or down here under the pond? Under, because I chose under. But if you chose over, then you can draw whatever you want. So I am going to draw under the pond. And maybe I want some the ground of the lakes, the dirt and the sand that is under the pond, not the lake, the pond. And we learned there are some plants that we saw that are under the pond. And what else lives under the pond? How about a frog? I could draw a frog living under the pond. I kind of don't remember what a frog looks like. There we go. I'll just do my best. There's my little frog. It looks like a spider, but it doesn't matter if it's perfect. I just tried my best. And some fish. Of course, we can't forget the fish. Lots of different kinds of fish live under the pond. So I can draw some fish. I can draw lots of fish. When there's a lot of fish together in a group, that's called a school of fish. So I will draw a whole school of fish. Many fish all together. All right, so I drew my picture, and you can see I did different colors. I added lots of details. It doesn't look perfect, but I just tried my best. And then, when you're happy with your picture, when you're all done, you can give it a check. Boop. And there's one more thing we have to do. What else do we have to do? Label. When I label my picture, I look at what I wrote. I think of the words I want to write about what I drew, and then I write those words. So let's see, I drew a frog. I need to sound out the word frog. If you want, you can just sound out the first sound in that word, or you can give yourself a challenge and try to sound out the whole word. I'm going to try to sound out the whole word, frog. So I need to say the word frog. I need to listen for the sounds. Let's see. Frog. I hear the sound at the beginning of the word frog. What letter says f? It's the letter F. F says f for frog. So right under my frog, I will write the letter F. I could stop there and just write the first sound, but I'm going to challenge myself and try to sound out more of the word. So I'm going to keep going. I sounded the beginning. Let's keep going with frog. Fur. hear the sound R. What letter says R? It's the letter R. R is after F. I will write an R next to my F. Okay, fra, ah. What letter makes that sound? Letter O. Let's write the letter O. Okay, I have an F, an R, an O. Fra. I have one more sound. Frog. G. What letter says G? It's the letter G. Let's put a G right here. Frog. Those are all the sounds, and when we blend them together, it makes the word frog. 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 Look at that, we sounded out a whole word. Friends, you can do that too with your journal. You can label one part, or you can keep labeling. I also drew some fish, so I could sound out the word fish. Fish. I hear the sound at the beginning of the word fish, and I know that the letter F says F, so I will write F for fish. And there's some more sounds. I'm going to keep going. Fi, Ooh, That's the letter I. I says so I will write the letter I. Fish. Shh. I hear the sound shh. Now, friends, that's a tricky one, but if you remember, we've talked a couple times about digraphs, two letters that make one sound. There are two letters that, when you put them together, they say shh. They always go to the library and read a story, and so they always say shh, because you have to be so quiet. Those are the letters S and H. When you put S, H together, they say shh. And I hear shh at the end of my word fish. So I have to write S and H, because S, H says shh. All right, let's see. Did I get all the sounds? Let's pronounce every letter. F, sh. Let's blend it together. Fish. We wrote the word fish. Nice job. Friends, thank you for your help. And it is your turn to label your picture. Make sure you write your name, draw your picture, and label. And then when you're done, you can do check. And you can tell your family or whoever is with you about your journal. You did a great job, friends. Thank you so much. Excellent work reading our story, Under and Over the Pond, and writing in your journal about, would you live under the pond or over the pond? We are all done with our read aloud and our journal, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you later, friends. Bye.